welcome. This is a quick introduction to Mixly.app, and I'm going to tell a little bit about the Mixly web application and what it is and what can you do with it. The idea of Mixly is that it's basically a web motion design tool and interaction design tool for developers, and it allows you to make animated visuals for your website. Why is this tool helpful is that usually these kind of effects that you see on the screen are quite difficult to actually implement, and you usually have to have quite a bit of knowledge on WebGL and things like shader programming and low-level graphics programming in general. So Mixly allows you to go well beyond the capabilities that you have from, for example, CSS filters that you have available on your regular web browsers. So yeah, there's a couple of examples here, and I'm gonna show a few of these. So if you go to the examples part of the website, you can, for example, see a few examples here. I'm gonna show you the shiny button example. So you have like a regular button, and then when you hover over it, it kind of shines. And this is a little bit different than what you see in usual CSS, because you actually have much higher quality blooming effect and glow effect around the button, and this is completely interactive. It's all done in Mixly without knowing any WebGL details. And here's another demo. So usually having these blur effects that require like variable blur effects are quite difficult to do using the CSS. You have to do quite a bit of hacking, but Mixly has a separate filter for variable blurs, so you can actually make this super easily using the tool. And here's another interaction demo. So in this example, you have like super blurry image, and then when you scroll down, you can see the image and probably it's green, but you can actually change the colors to your liking. So it's not a video, it's actually interactive thing. You can change the colors, and the animation is partly driven through the scrolling behavior that you have on the website. So basically just there's like a few lines of code that just controls the player to do this animation when you scroll the web page. And the interesting part of Mixly is that it's not only like a regular animation tool. So of course you can do keyframe animation, but you can also do this kind of like interactive things. So you can drive animation through for example mouse position or whatever happens on the web browser. So here's a kind of a simulation thing where you paint this distortion effect on a graphics that is behind the cursor. And here's another quick example. So as I said, the variable blur effect is quite difficult to do, but using Mixly, it's just one filter that you can actually drive through animated videos if you want. So here we have the text, and then I have the variable blur filter, and then I'm just having a video that is basically defining where the blurriness should be. If I zoom in, you can see that the part of the screen is much more blurry than the other parts. All right, so this is actually inside the editor. This is a little bit different demonstration, but yeah, you basically have a regular timeline. You can do things. You have layers, and in this example, you have a video texture that is kind of driving this distortion effect on the screen. And this is the previous blurring example. I can move things around. It's all interactive. There can be multiple things in the background. I can copy things. I can move things around, and of course I can just, like, for example, adjust the blurriness of the things on screen. So it will be like completely not blurry, or just like blur everything. And there's a little bit of a distortion effect as well. So, and you can do quite a bit already. Of course, the idea is that I'll be adding more of these filters and effects, but the current set of tools you can already do quite a bit. So things like this one, and you can. The interesting part is that since it's WebGL based, I can do quite a bit of like advanced graphics. So this, for example, rendering the HDR render target, so I can do this quite high quality bloom for your WebGL experiences. So you can tune it and can change, for example, the kind of the color bias of the blurring. So it could be green, be whatever color you like, or just white. So it's kind of a natural. All right. So when you actually start with Mixly, this is basically what you see. You probably don't have this many projects, but there should be this introduction, a welcome project that you can start with. But probably the best idea is to kind of just start with a new document. And yeah, this is the kind of starting screen. You can hold the middle mouse button to move around, and you can upload your own files over here. So I could select something, it should be uploading, like click open and then click the upload button. So you upload things, and if you want to actually have something on screen, you just drag and drop whatever resource you have. So I have the blur text, or I can just drop it there, and it should be visible. And the kind of the alternative way to do this is to click these quick buttons on the top of the screen. So this is basically an image layer. So this is like the basic building block of things, but I can also create them through this menu. But if I do it like this, it's gonna be a blank one, so there's no texture or image set. So I have to actually define a texture, and I can use the same way. So I just drag and drop a texture on the screen. But since this was like the default size is 200 by 200, so the dimension is not correct, so I can just click the pixel perfect button, and it actually scales the image to be the correct size. All right, so that's how you basically create a images. But you can also change like scene related settings. So you have the playback speed. You can adjust the length of the timeline. You can change, for example, background color of the scene that you're kind of editing. And the idea is that this is quite similar to After Effects. So if you're familiar with that, you can probably use this already. But you can kind of combine effects on top of this, like basic elements. So this one is an image. It only has a color variable, so I can change the color, as you can see, whatever color I want. But you can also add new effects using the plus button over here. So if you click, you can see the options that we have available. Currently, this is a little bit limited, but you can already do quite a bit with this set of tools. So for example, if I add a brightness modifier, it happens after the color is set, and I can just kind of boost the color value there. The other options, you can kind of take a closer look at those if you want, gradients and distortion effects and image effects and things like that. As I created this images, they also show up on the timeline. So I can select items from here, and they have this timeline elements. I'm not gonna show any animation today on this introduction video, but I'll show the one more feature, which is called the adjustment layers. So these were image layers, so they only have this like own area where they're kind of affecting the end result. So usually they are images. But we also have this adjustment layer option, which is basically effect that affects the whole whole screen, so it doesn't have anything to actually move around. There's nothing you can select, but you can have you have a little bit more options for these adjustment layers. So for example, the bloom effect that you show in the examples is an adjustment layer. So I could select this one. I have it available now. But the thing is that this Mixly text, for example, it's blooming a little bit. You can see a little bit like color bleeding happening from the red to the blue parts. But the idea is that since this is not it's not super bright at the moment, but we already created a brightness modifier to the text, we can kind of increase it, and then it actually starts to affect more on the screen. So now you can actually see it a little bit better. And the order of these effects matters. So for example, now we have the red color, and then we increase the brightness. But if we actually switch them around, the result is not the same. So we can just drag and drop the effects. And as you see, now we actually increase the brightness of the white version first, and then we add the color. So the result is a little bit different, and actually has quite a bit of a quite different look than the original one that we had. All right, and yeah, you can basically adjust these values, and once you're done, once you're happy with the project, or if you just want to kind of preview how does it actually look in your own project, you can just click this preview project button, and if you click it, it should open a separate window. And if you had animated this, it would be now animating, or if you had like linked, for example, your mouse position would be following your mouse now. But in my case, I only had this static image, so there's nothing actually happening here in this example. And then when I'm done, I can just leave the screen, and now I'm back in the editor. And yeah, you can change, for example, the resolution, the kind of the scene settings. You can adjust the speed of the animation, the length of the animation. And once you're like super happy with the end result, you can export the whole project using this download project button. And if you click it, it takes a few seconds to actually process it on the server side. And once it's done, you get this zip file. For example, here is something I can just extract it to a new folder. And now if I double click it, you should be seeing it as a standalone project. So this is something that you could actually add into your own web page if you want it. And if you take a look at the demo project, you can see that how it actually works. So there's 4 lines of code for this project, and it just basically starts the player to actually play something on the screen. So super simple. And you can use this template, so you don't actually have to code anything yourself. All right, so that was a quick introduction to Mixly, and this is a free software, so you can get started like right away if you want. There's nothing stopping you. You just go to the Mixly.app webpage, and you should be created with this kind of webpage, and then you click the editor button and use your Google account, or create a new account for the Mixly editor. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to help you. And you can use, for example, the videos comment section to ask your questions. And I would be happy to also make new tutorials if there are like multiple people asking the same questions. So yeah, would be awesome to have you try this out. And we are kind of early on the software, so any feedback is very helpful, and you can actually help the kind of the development of the software at this point, because I want to build this for you. So your feedback is very welcome. All right, so hope to see you guys try it out and See you later.